Welcome to another one of my extremely boring and wildly unpopular videos. So this is an aluminium collector box, and for those of you that are familiar even slightly with air-cooled 911s, you'll recognize this as the bottom half of a plastic airbox. Yeah, and on the CIS systems, the airboxes are renowned for blowing apart or splitting and creating lots of vacuum leaks. So I acquired this from somebody that was selling a carburetor setup for a 911. So somebody's gone to the trouble of making this pretty nicely done aluminium collector box. It's all nicely TIG welded, of course. So this would sit on top of the engine, and the three intake runners here would go to the heads, and on the right hand side here would go to the heads. On the top was this spacer plate, and there was a pretty substantial Demon, I think it was the brand, but they used the same spacing as Holley's carburetor sitting on the top there. So somebody bought the carburetor off him, which was great, and I ended up just keeping the spacer and the collector box because I thought one day I might use this. And that day's coming up pretty quick because I just picked up one of these. Now this is only a 2-barrel, as you can see. So this is the Holley Sniper EFI. Well, it's one of their very, very many versions. You can see the model number there, 90031. I don't know what that means. It is second hand. I've been assured that it works and that he hasn't blown it up. As for why it's for sale, Facebook Marketplace. Who knows why anything's for sale? But it's all intact. And my plan is to mount this on there, but as you can see, being a 2-barrel, it is a completely different bolt pattern and it's much smaller. So this came with its own spacer plate, and I'm assuming that's the brake booster line on the back there. And it also came with this little, I don't know what you call it, an adapter plate, but I think what this is maybe this was like the bottom, maybe part of it clamped down to the inlet manifold, and then I think once this was bolted to the inlet manifold, that would go on top, then this would go on top of here and then screw down and clamp to that. So I think this is like a big nut, so to speak. But what I'm trying to figure out is, what do I need to buy, because I can't make it, but what do I need to buy in order to be able to adapt this to sit on there nicely? Because obviously, as you can see, it's nowhere near the right size. Now, why have I gone for a 2-barrel? Because a 4-barrel is not really much difference in price. Well, the 4 barrels are like designed to support 500-600 horsepower and more, which these engines just aren't going to produce. So this one's designed to, I think it's got a capability of up to 350 horsepower, which is more than enough for a 3 litre or even a 3.5 litre 911 engine. But yeah, so I think what I need is to get a plate which will somehow adapt to that to sit on there. So yeah, so the question is, do I use this for my brake, for my spacer plate, or do I use this one? And I'm thinking it's going to be this one here. I think so. But I am keen to hear what others have to say. I mean, yes, it needs the brake booster line, so we can't go without that. But it doesn't have another line for manifold pressure. However, this does have vacuum ports on the back here. What they're for, I'm not too sure. Yeah, actually, I really don't know. But I would have thought the larger one there, which is covered, would have been for a brake hose, but maybe not. But anyway, manuals are online, but yeah, all I'm after at this stage is some help to decide how to adapt this to fit on there.